Yeah, okay. Page 11. By Rotarian President. Rotary invocation. Inspire Rotarians, Lord, we ask. We're going to sing it, right? Let's say, inspire Rotarians, Lord, we ask, to lead as we profess, to dignify the daily task, and serve in all selflessness, for fellowship which here we share. We offer thanks to thee. We pray that it will be our care to spread it continuously. The Rotary invocation.
Thank you. We may be defeated. FAA and Treasurer Rotary is not here. For this meeting, we will be appointing FAA. Rotary Dr. Etieti. You are FAA for this meeting. You have been appointed as FAA for this meeting. We move on to object of Rotary. Object of Rotary of Malala.
Good evening, my President, fellow Rotarians. Object of Rotary. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular to encourage and foster, first, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and profession, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupation, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. Fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. The object of Rotary.
Thank you, Malala. The four waiters, PP level. The four waiters.
As President, fellow Rotarians, object of Rotary. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service.
The four waiters.
The four waiters. One, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good, will and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Do you want to see? Article is talking about singing. You want to sing it? Commander, should we sing it?
Yes, let's.
Okay.
We sing a lot in
1, 2, 3. In all infinity.
Tell our guests where it is. Page 7.
Page 7.
Page 7. It's on page 7. Okay, let's go.
God save you, we come into you, therefore we test to guide you on your endeavors to make us success on all that you do. Is it the truth? Is it the truth? You know it is true. Is it fair? Is it fair? Fair to all concerned. We believe and get our friendship. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Is it the truth? Is it the truth? Say of you. Is it fair? Is it fair? Fair to all.
Rotarian Code of Conduct. The following codes of conduct has been adopted to the use of Rotarians. As a Rotarian, I will act with integrity and high ethical standards in my personal and professional life. 2, deal fairly with others and treat them and their occupations with respect. 3, use my professional skills through Rotary to mentor young people, help those with special needs, and improve people's quality of life in my community and our world. 4, avoid behavior that reflects adversely on Rotary and Rotarians. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yeti. I welcome everyone to today's meeting. You're all welcome. Our members, our guests, the directors in our midst. Please, I would like you to move a bit forward so that you can hear what I'm saying, because I'm not using the mic. When I say move forward, it includes Rotaractor. Thank you. So you're all welcome.
Sorry, can everybody please help us? Sorry, go forward. My president just called.
She's a big coach.
Okay, but at least let's belong. Thank you. And then let us feel as if it's a fuller house. Thank you, my president.
We have things we want to discuss concerning upcoming events, but considering the time, I want us to go into what we have for the main event of today, which is the presentation by Mr. Fajemilo on Spina Bifida.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. Right. Do you have it on the video?
No, sir.
You don't have it. Right. So, Mr. Fajemilo, I want to respectfully ask you to be outstanding so that they will see the person I'm talking about. The very rich resume I have with me here. I won't read everything, if not, we will not leave here till tomorrow. So I will just cut it short. Awolowo Fajemilo is a distinguished development practitioner, parent and disability rights advocate, degree in microbiology and certified professional social worker, 30 years of experience, advancing inclusive development and disability inclusion in Nigeria. He co-founded Festus Fajemilo Foundation in 2006, where he leads transformative programs in inclusive education, health, continence management, and disability rights, impacting thousands of children with disability and their families. Awolowo has collaborated with national and international partners, including Action Aid and the UK aid-funded S2 program, contributing to health systems, strengthening and community development. He has also mentored World Health Committees in Lagos State to improve community health governance. His global leadership includes serving as the first international community network leader of the Hydrocephalus Association in USA, receiving the prestigious Commonwealth Professional Fellowship with Shine UK in 2014. I thought I would hear some applause. It isn't easy now. Awarded by Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, representing Nigerian disability community at the inaugural Global Disability Summit in London in 2018. He is widely respected for championing inclusive policies and sustainable disability-focused development. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Mr. Awolowo Fajemilo.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the board and management of Rotarian Foundation, I want to thank Rotarian for this wonderful opportunity given to us to come and talk to you on the medical condition and important public health concern. Spina Bifida happening within the months when Rotary Club globally organized maternal and child health in the month of July. So my name has been mentioned, so go straight to what we have. But the topic we are talking about is safeguarding future lives, preventing spinal bifida with folic acid. So a brief bit of introduction about First Australian Foundation. It's a disability focused non-profit organization that came into being in 2006. The initiative came from the experience my wife and I had with our first child, who was diagnosed by the surgery at the age of 2 months. Be turning 22 on the 22nd of this month. And this year happens to be our 20th, coming up in the month of October. Thank you. So what's our mission? So we provide accurate information on spinal bifida and the purpose for the purpose of public enlightenment and awareness raising. We improve access to health, other B2B services for our target beneficiaries. Where possible, we provide ourselves, and where it's not possible, we link them to highly subsidized services. And we are also a major advocacy organization pushing for disability inclusive society, working with government at all levels to ensure that disability inclusion is deepened in our society. So why do the conversation tonight? So every year, babies are born with neurological defects, of which spinal bifida is one of the commonest. And many of these cases are preventable if there's awareness, good maternal nutrition, timely folic acid supplementation, strong public health advocacy and policy, whereas in some countries, including Nigeria, so fortification of state foods. So what is spinal bifida? So the word is derived from Latin words, spinal from spine, and by means split. I don't know why this is not, pointer is not shown on the screen. Okay, I'll be pointing on this. So it's a bad defect that arises from improper formation of spinal cord within the first 20 days of conception, even when the woman doesn't know that she's conceived. And so I have two pictures here. Here is the normal spine, and around it you have neural tubes and membranes that cover the
spine. And here we have a defective spine where there's a gap in one of the neural tubes missing. So that creates a gap and then exposes the spine. And as a result of that, the communication between the brain and lower parts of the body is distorted. So like I said, it develops within the first 28 days of conception, often before pregnancy is recognized. So why does it happen? So we have some major factors, which include inadequate folic acid within the blood of the mother, family history, poor maternal nutrition, women who are diabetic, obesity, those who are on anti-seizure medication today as a result of one medical condition or the other. Women with high fever during early pregnancy, and genetic and environmental influences. For instance, pregnant women is exposed to some chemicals during early pregnancy. So we have types. We have the mild type, the severe and more severe ones. So the first one there is the mild type, spinal bifida, a quarter like something like if something that's healing. So it's not physically seen when, and remember, it happens in the first 28 days of conception. So that's, we should have that at the back of our mind. So once it doesn't happen within that period, then the child can never experience it. So the mild type, it comes with less complication, and most times it's not noticed. Then the next one is meningocele, so which is a more severe one. So that this comes with a sac-like. For the first one, only the spine is intact, but neural tube is missing. One or two neural tubes they are missing. The most severe one, the meningocele, you have both the neural tube and membranes covering the spine, which I showed the other time. So the more severe one, which is meningocele, you have both the membranes covering and the neural tube, open. While the mild one, the neural, only the neural tube is missing, while the membrane are still there. And so that results determine the level of complication the child is going to experience later in life. So, and then the most severe one is minor meningocele. So the most severe. In this type, both the spinal cord protrudes outside, so it's exposed, and that's the second child, the baby you have, lower part. So you see a sac-like structure that. So both the spine and the membranes covering it protrudes outside, form of a sac. And those children come down with lots of complication. So we'll get to know that at the later part of the presentation. So what's the global incidence? So we researchers recorded an approximate 240,000 babies born annually with neural tube defects. And it remains one of the leading causes of disability in newborns, while many cases of this can be prevented through awareness and adequate intake of folic acid by every woman who may become pregnant. And to see what I put indicated in red color here, prevention remains one of the most cost-effective strategies, because once it happens, it's a lifelong condition, and it requires multidisciplinary care. So the cost is huge. So for countries where the system supports individuals like that, they recognize this and they take proactive measures to ensure that this is implemented on a large scale. So in the Nigerian context, what we have, of course, although we have data, we don't have, we like data in terms of accurate number of babies that are born annually with two defects, but available data, shows to us that annually about 12,695 babies are born with neonatal defects in Nigeria, and it remains a significant cause of birth defects in Nigeria hospitals. Many pregnancies are unplanned. Awareness of the pregnancy folic acid remains low, especially in the hinterland rural communities where, and those who still patronize, traditional birth cases. Access to early antenatal care varies across communities. We still have communities where, women are, don't even go to the hospital, the primary health care centers, and still have those that are, doing delivery at home. So how is it diagnosed? Before birth, it can be diagnosed through ultrasound. The serum from maternal serum can also be taken for a test called alpha photoprotein. You can also have fetal MRI, of course, that's incidental basis, and where the right equipment is in place. So after birth, physical examination. So for the ninth time, the baby is born, and with a patch of hair at the lower back. So you just say that's the quarter time. So for the more and more severe types, which is the meningocele and meningocele, those are basically you see the sarcomas. Yes, that's the child below. So that is seen. Immediately the child is, on the side. So these are physical signs that, can be used to diagnose. Also, MRI can be done and CT scan, depending on the choice of the practitioner, the healthcare practitioner, and sometimes what you do experience in most of the public hospitals here depend on finance, the financial power of the family. So sometimes it happens that parents tell the doctor that they don't have money for MRI. So the doctor will say they can do CT scan and see whether they can make do with, of course, MRI will give a clearer picture of what is happening internally. So early diagnosis enables early intervention. But of course, most of cases that we see here are presented with. These are not far from spiritual, cultural beliefs. What is this? Where do you come from? Where do you? We've never had this type of child in our family. So you see, by the time this is going on, don't go to the hospital. This child is a labeled child and all sorts of things. So a lot of time is wasted. So what is the effect? In terms of health, children may have difficulty walking. So especially more the meningocele and non-meningocele, those children who have the most severe time, we come out with paralysis or partial paralysis of lower limbs. Hydrocephalus will also come later. Hydrocephalus is accumulation of cerebrospinal fluid because it's a central nervous system fusion. Bladder and bowel dysfunction. This is very devastating. For many of our beneficiaries, before we started continence management project in 2017 with our UK partner. It was a big issue for families. And because if a child cannot control his bowel and bladder, and that child goes to school, the child smells, his appear doesn't, they don't want to stay around him, and then all sorts of name calling. Such a child will not want to go to school the next day. And that spill over educational opportunity and social participation for that child. And at times when our foundation is responding to that, and we're working with 11 teaching hospitals at the moment, training nurses to provide continence care in their facilities, and then supporting them with equipment to serve and to catheterize themselves so that they can remain dry and then be able to participate in social engagement and then go to school regularly. So, economic association, of course, on the part of the family, in terms of health, it can transcend to the parents. Decide that because, as mentioned, treatment is multidisciplinary. So, many times, parents find themselves in the hospital with the child, and that can also result into mental health. Of course, before we started that continence care, a lot of parents are consulted, avalies, different kind of people to stop, constant urination, uncontrolled bowel exercise. So these are the way parents spend money, and all that results into mental health issue for the parents as well. So economic impacts, it's weighed down a lot on family income. Particularly now, society in this part of the world where there's no system support. So everything has to be done by families. So repeated surgeries, same child who has had closure on the spine, that's the first surgery. That child will also come down with club foot. So we have to see orthopedists. And the same child may need appliances, maybe like walker, to support of braces. So the child has to see orthopedists, and this same child is also having, not having control of bladder and bowel. You have to see specialty continence. So this is how, and the parents will still need to support this same child. So rehabilitation cost is very huge. Educational challenges, like I mentioned, if the child is not able to control his bladder, how will that child be able to go to school? Because tears will laugh at him, and then he's discouraged, he doesn't want to go to school the next day. Emotional and psychological stress, yes, for both the affected and the families. So treatment. So management requires multidisciplinary approach, including neurosurgery, orthopedic care, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, urology services, assistive devices, educational support, and counseling. So if a family has to go through all these specialty, then you can imagine the cost, and the support is not there from the government. So prevention, yes. So we are saying the most cost-effective way is because once the research has shown that if a woman has at least enough folate in her blood, it can reduce the occurrence of pregnancy by 70%. So although there are other factors that we have mentioned earlier, so if you can reduce by 70% folic acid usage prior to conception, that will have prevented all the costs that are associated with the management. So daily intake of folic acid, 400 micrograms recommended, and for every woman capable of becoming pregnant. When does a woman start? At least 1 month. At least 1 month And so for our folic acid awareness campaign, we start with when even to higher institutions to start talking to ladies to just take a tablet of folic acid, which is still affordable and available at pharmacy, to prepare their home. We've had a last school student who has twins. I think it was 22 years, yes. He has set of twins and then one was graduated off and the second was Spina Bifida. So that's so as campaign of going out to school as well to ensure that talk to do this even while they are still in school, they can still take at least one type of folic acid per day. Does not harm their body. So and then continue through the first 3 months. This is very key because we said science has proven that it occurs within the first 30 days of conception. And so once it is prevented at this stage, then the baby is safe. How folic acid protects babies? Folic acid helps build healthy cells, support neural development, to reduce the risk of neural defects. And we have foods that are rich in folic acid, all green vegetables, beans, citrus fruits, liver. But again, what we have realized that the way foods are prepared, some of these nutrients are lost in the process of preparation. And those of us in cities, because of scarcity of time and work, we do not even have time to so a lot of food that are already lost. I mean, not most of the nutrients are lost in the process of preparation, and that is why supplementation is recommended for every childbearing age women. Any woman who thinks to become pregnant has to still supplement. And in some countries, what has been done is to fortify their staple foods. For instance, like wheat. So like wheat, if once every product that come out from wheat, pastry, bread, so as soon as you eat that, so they're regularly consuming, this. So that's another way of, ensuring that the population, and that is on larger scale. What more can be done? Public health priorities. So we need to increase awareness, ensure that this awareness gets not only meant for those of us in the cities, but as well as rural communities in the hinterland, to ensure that women in rural areas get to know of this, because it is not what folic acid, what they take. When it's already 3 months, let me take folic acid now. No, it does not work again at that stage. So if some people are going to set in, like of course, within 28 days. Improve access to folic acid supplements, strengthen food fortification, like I've mentioned. Some countries, in South Africa, it has proven very, very effective, and that has reduced drastically, the incident rates of the relative difference. Promote preconception care, encourage early antenatal booking, and then expand birth defect surveillance. Because in the country we, don't have the appropriate records, data of, some of these birth defects. So there's no proper registry, that captures these defects. To inform appropriate action from the government. So the role of Rotary. Rotary's areas of focus include maternal and child health, of course, which is the months we have globally. Rotary Club can sponsor awareness campaigns, support community education, partner with NGOs like us. Excuse me. Find fund folic and distribution initiatives, advocate for healthier communities, support families affected by spinal bifida, surgeries, physiotherapy sessions, school fees, assistive technologies. So a call to action. So we have different stakeholders that need to take, play major roles here. So the part of government said there's need for effective policy. For instance, I mentioned of flood fortification, which has been done in many countries and has proven very, very effective, and then they've recorded very low incidence rate. Healthcare providers promote, so on the part of healthcare providers, we need to promote the consumption, counseling, especially at our primary healthcare centers, there in the communities, for rural women. NGOs and civil society need to expand awareness campaigns. We are doing one tonight. Community leaders can champion healthy pregnancy messages, because every woman take folic acid before pregnancy. So concluding now. So prevention begins before pregnancy. That's key. And one small tablet can translate to one simple habit. And that one simple habit can also lead to one earlier generation. And together we can reduce preventable birth defects and give every child the opportunity to try. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. That was very enlightening topic. At this point, before I say anything out, anyone has any questions? But before we do that, we have someone in our midst who wants to share our experience. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. So I follow up with Mrs. Adebayo, who is a parent of a son with spinal bifida. Don't let me get on again. So I will use the help of my lived experience.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and also thank you for allowing me to come into your meeting. I was only having a conversation with him yesterday, and he mentioned that he was having a presentation here, so I said, can I join? So thank you for allowing me to come. So my name is Muji Adebayo. I actually live in the UK. I have 3 children. My last I actually my 2 pregnancies were fine, so I didn't have any inclination that the 3rd pregnancy was going to lead into that. I'm also a pharmacist by profession, and when I had the pregnancy, I was living here in Nigeria, and I had my antenatals. Unfortunately, it wasn't picked early. It was only picked when I traveled abroad to pick up my child. And of course, with such news, you will have so many questions. What did I do wrong? What did I do? I took my supplements, and so many questions. But it has been a journey. My son was born on the 21st of August, 2004. And when I had him, I think the first surgery was probably 24 hours after he was born. We have gone through so many surgeries. And like you said, we are under various specialties. To the glory of God, my son is thriving very well. He's got mobility issues. He actually uses a wheelchair. And my son is just graduating from university. And so he's finished his final year, we're graduating in September. I think what Mr. Fajemelo and his foundation are doing is excellent. Unfortunately, of course, living in the United Kingdom, you have access to good healthcare. So all these things that probably are challenging for parents and carers here, it are things that are, you go through them seamlessly. Every appointment and everything, you go through them seamlessly. It's actually even very good when the child is under 18, because the child is a pediatrician, is a pediatric patient. So all those appointments, they are, you don't miss them. And like I said, my son is thriving very well. Yes, there have been challenges. I can't say that one of the reasons why I moved abroad was because of my son, because weighing up the options about healthcare here and looking at living here to move abroad, which I don't regret. Really excellent what they're doing, and I'm happy and partnering with him and the foundation for the last just about three years, I think now. I hope to do more work, and even my son actually is looking forward to doing something for the foundation as well. So thank you so much.
I don't know, we don't really. So, is the disability, it didn't affect his learning capacity?
Yes, like you said, with the spinal bifida. So my son has the hydrocephalus and micromeninges, and of course it affects his learning. But moving through, so when he was in primary school, he had support and assistance to support him, and then also assistive learning devices, tablets and things like that. Also, because of his disability, there are what I would say, they make some room for certain things. So, like for example, if you're doing an exam, you are given extra time. If you're doing an exam, you might request that you want to be in a room by yourself, because children with hydrocephalus sometimes distractions and things like that. And milestones with learning, it's a little bit late for them, when he was in secondary school also, he went to a secondary school that had a special education unit. So they had several sort of learning assistants as well. They would make all those rooms as well, in terms of the learning. He then subsequently did his A-levels in that school as well, supported as well. In university, so he was actually supposed to graduate last year, but after the first year, he was very unwell and had to have surgery. And then after the surgery, of course, him recuperating meant that the second year was interrupted, so he took 1 year off. And so then, following year started the second year. And then at the end of the second year, I had to have another surgery, which fortunately was scheduled during the summer holidays. So he could recuperate during the summer. And then eventually started his final year, the 25-26 academic year, finishing his first June. So in terms of education, I would say very much supported. Yes, even in university as well. Yeah, so the university, fortunately, when we were choosing university, we chose university based on proximity to where we live. Although he lived in the university campus, he's quite independent or supported in terms of learning as well.
Where is the graduate?
So he's done a degree in music business. Yes.
Can you sing?
He's actually more of a creative person. So he's like a music critic, and he's looking to what they call AR. So people that manage the artists and musicians.
Thank you. So,
Thank you. I'm curious as to the purpose of the surgeries. You said he had surgeries. So when you first said it was having surgery, I thought, oh, there would be fixes or something.
So if you remember what you know, the spinal, the first surgery was to close the spine. Because what you have is that the meninges are exposed and there's a gap. And so my son has a scar at the back. That's the first surgery. Then hydrocephalus, which you mentioned, is essentially because of fluid and pressure in the brain. So you probably see in that picture the child with the big head. So a couple of days after closing of the spine, because you have a raised pressure because of the fluid, you do a surgery to put something called a shunt. So essentially what the shunt is doing is taking that fluid and draining it. Now, like you know, any surgery, you're only a mechanical device and it can malfunction. So unfortunately, when we had that surgery, it malfunctioned 2 days after. Had to have a revision of the surgery, and then we went on for 17 years. We went on for almost 17 years, and we had no problem with that shunt until we went to university, and we had a problem with the shunt. So with the shunt malfunction, they tell you certain things to look out for. So it has been series of surgeries. So, and like you were saying, you are under so many specialties. Under the neurosurgery, under urology, you have orthopedic, you have physio, you have, so it's a whole raft of people looking after.
How's the social life? Does he have friends?
Social life. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a introvert until he gets to know you. But he's a very, when he gets to know you, he's a very bubbly, very interactive. And one of his passions is music. So he can talk about music from now to Q.com.
Thank you.
President, what has been your experience in Nigeria with the patients of this ailment?
The experience in Nigeria is a whole lot. But on the part of first one, we had no information. So my wife was anemic during the delivery, and then so immediately after that they said they were going to transfuse the child. That was at Loud Tech then. So many doctors were trying to look for me. They couldn't find from about 8 a.m. in the morning until 12 midnight that the student doctor came. I think that was just good with that. So he was able to locate the vein right on his head, and he was in intensive care, and you could hear how the child was. So one doctor will come, try to with no success, and now will come until around 12 midnight before that. But after the diagnosis, they still told us that it was what they call it, congenital. So we were thinking that probably it was because of the trauma we went through at the intensive care unit. But after the diagnosis and the surgeons, we were trying to see a real surgeon, and we did a shunt and an X-ray, and it was the surgeon told us that this child needed brain surgery. That's got us stabilized, first child. So we got home and then we told our parents. On my part, my in-laws part, none of them had the experience. So, and the complaint was that it was Ikoyi. So the frontal, the working frontal. So we went seeing a woman neighbor, a living one, and the first thing she told us that, we should come back for nights. We're going to consult God, some gods, if we allow her to treat her son, because the set of people are taken to the US and they still got going back to her. So that gave us some conclusion. So 2 weeks after we went there, as I said, she was told not to attend to our son. So we went back home. So we didn't agree for surgery, despite the fact that we were both university academics. We didn't agree to go for surgery until 14 months. So, but during this period, the F circumference was increasing aggressively. So we were thinking that, okay, we are fasting, and by the time my wife was in the church for a month. So we got a man from Badagry. He said he was into unique medicine. And I went online to read unique medicine. I saw that it's being practiced in the UK. So we subscribe to that as well. So 3 times a week, we go from Abuja to Badagry. And the road was not even good then, like what we have on the job roads now. So we did that for 14 months and then all to no appeal. So we finally settled for surgery 14 months. But by that time, the circumference was like 62 inches. And so cosmetically, that it's couldn't achieve bringing the score back to, but thank God that the brain function was still there, because some children at that age will have lost the brain function. So for families in Nigeria, like I said, no system support. When they get to the hospital, on the first day of, once the nose is broken to them, and the doctor will ask, do you have, this is the cost, do you have the finance? Once the parents say they are not, very financially, they are asked to go back home and to come back when they have the finance. And the expert will tell you, hydrocephalus is treated 2 days even late. So, and this is a child that will go home and come back like 6 months. And by that 6 months, you see the high balls are already, sometimes even the optic nerve is already pressed. In the process, some children have lost their sight. So, poverty level,
Okay.
yeah. So likely, the support, system support is actually lacking.
Almost non-existent.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's,
President, over here.
Thank you so much. How would you want to come in from the societal aspects? That aspect of the stigma, because I know some years ago I was the UN consultant for children with disability from 0 to 18 years. I had to document that in 6 states. We didn't do the lot because of the bombing of the UN house. So I know there is that stigma because you get into some villages and you see people hiding. Do we still have things like that?
it still exists. Yeah.
Where is the enlightenment?
Yes, in the awareness is not, right enough. It said that we only do a bit of, even in Lagos, we still have members that, we never know of it. First of all, foundation, we still have families who are still hiding, even in, for example, across the river, right? Inside the code, we are still having these children. But over time, we are building the capacity of parents. I remember when we first started, our family support group, we had 7 families. And we were to go to LTV one day they said we should come, they wanted to give us media disability. So we saw that none of the family showed up. We are the only one that find ourselves there. But over time, with capacity building, some literature we get from our partners in the UK, US, so lectures and so parents are now, a lot of parents are empowered now. They have the knowledge, they are coping better, and even when journalists come around to talk to us, those are that parents that were already hiding their faces. Now they want to they are willing to come out to identify with their child. It's changing.
That's good to know. Thank you so much.
So I know that many years ago, I knew of a lady who had a child. And the child had a condition. I didn't know what it was there, but I believe it is basically the brain. So I know they did the child for some time. And then after I didn't see the child again, she said we were going to take the child to the river. They put the child by the side. If the water takes away the baby, it's not for them. So bring that back the baby. So you put it down.
But a lot of things happen. As myself and my wife and I used to find ourselves sometimes in the with 7 people dressed in white and then don't know the daughter of the States. So we're doing one day and I stopped to release myself, and before I came back to the car, I saw this man talking to my wife, calling for a stop line. Before he went, and my wife was telling me that I said, what's the man looking for? He said, you put that, and he's trying to help us. So he said he got safe far from his ancestors, and he'd like to help us that he can bring back the head size. And before we knew it, we found ourselves in a bush. I was carrying my son, I walked with my bag, but I was a few meters from the gates down here. And that one they use one particular leaf and water, and there's this one of the this number that used by the user. So if that comes with water with leaf and water, it is spark fire. So that was wrong on my son. The man is still there till today. So we got to know that they were something was when they had that because that time we have spent what we had. So when we said that I have to go and pick a pot in front of this, I school in I know, wow, I think the time they told me that to go to this part, I said, no, you want to stay, you want to self keep. So these are many things that parents have done. I mean, I've gone to Abattoir markets to one keep spreading corn, on the floor. Like, okay, man, once I do that, first will stand up because all until you deny didn't come on the street. So a lot of
Thank you so much for the service, and I hope people will take a few tips back and enlighten people they know on this. I appreciate you sent us a copy of your presentation so that we can also, and members who are not here today will be able to contribute to. Thank you. Vote of time.
Sorry. Are we allowed to ask?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Good evening, Sarah and Papa. And I know that this is not easy, so I must commend you. I know it wasn't, and I think I'd say thank you for sharing your story. And please, I don't know how you would feel about the question I'm about to ask.
No, please go ahead. I mean, that's the reason why I've come. And I mean, I've done. I think at the initial stages, probably I was in a different frame of mind. But now I believe that I can help so many people, and that's why I'm so passionately working, wanting to. I appreciate what he's doing here in this climate. And you mentioned about Shine Charity, so that's another thing that they get you put you in touch with those charities that can support you, not just with the health, but also the psychological. We talked about the emotional and the psychological, because it's strange, and that was his first child. This was my third child. So I've had 2 children, and then I'm having my third child. So please ask me any question.
So the thing is, Spina Bifida I also researched it years ago. I think there was a family, I can't remember. There's a couple that got married and then they have a boy and a girl. What's their name? I think the guy is half Ghanaian, maybe there's an accent. So the daughter had it. Now I find that the daughter no longer, like she seems to walk around. I don't know about that. And it looks like they must have resolved the issue. God knows what they did. So I wanted to ask, for your first and second, did you take folic acid throughout?
Yes. Yeah.
And in the third case, did you take folic acid?
In the third, so like I said, I'm a pharmacist, and I took my supplements as soon as I realized I was pregnant. You take antiemetics like the ferrous and the folic acid, so I used to take a combined tablet. So I just couldn't tolerate having to take 3 tablets or anything. Another thing just to point out, probably you know, folic acid comes in 2 strengths. There's the 5 milligram, which people that have sickle cell don't take. The 400 microgram is the one that is,
That's a small one.
well, I don't know whether it's a small, but it's the 400 microgram. There's the 5 milligram, the 400 microgram is the one that, which you mentioned in the presentation, that's the one that women of childbearing age should take to prevent this neural tube defects. It's different from the 5 milligram, it's the 400 microgram. It's just very important to point that out. The 400 microgram is the one that they should take. And like you said, yeah, I did take it, but I don't know. Yeah. And the other thing also, I mean, like I said, my pregnancy was here. And one of the questions I asked is that I did have my first scan. And at the first scan, it could have been but somehow or the other, it wasn't picked up.
When you say the first scan,
Yes.
the scan where you check.
Yeah, when you as a pregnant woman, you have your first scan maybe at your 3 months or it wasn't picked there. It wasn't picked there. It wasn't picked until I went abroad. I was 1 month to having my child. That was when it was picked. Yes.
So sorry, another question. I have to probe further.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, there's this thing they do where they say, the scan where that tells you whether all the issues are resolved or whether the baby is okay. Did you do that? There's, I don't know, I've forgotten what it's called. There's a stage, I think they take it to some country to go and figure out whether the fetus has all the necessary, I don't know.
Maybe they take the amniotic fluid.
Yes.
If they suspect that especially that if a woman is like an older woman, and just to make sure. I didn't do that. Yeah, but like I said, I had my first scan, it wasn't picked up, and it wasn't until a month later. Now, you also mentioned something about that. There's a family that they seemingly it resolved. Mr. Fajimino talked about the different types of spinal bifida.
Okay.
It could be that it's a very mild one that the child had. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. IDP. What of that?
Secretary West. Speaking about, so I just to mention that if anyone of us come across the child with spinal bifida, so the over bladder issues that we also experience. So already, handling that, and we're working with teaching hospitals, and we're working with 11 public teaching hospitals, and we cover like 5 of the 6 regions. So the other place where we don't have a partner hospitals the northeast.
Where? The north. The north.
We are working in northwest. It's Madam Fully because teaching hospital. So because of their teaching hospital, we're working because of the teaching hospital. We see youths, but from the teaching hospital, we are working in Ilorin as well, SLC. Yeah, Southside. Southside. Right, River State. River State.
Okay.
Yeah.
UST.
What you say?
Southeast, FMC, Moya. We started lately with UNCH.
So when you say work, that's in terms of the awareness that you're.
Yeah, we're partnering with them, so we're training their nurses to provide continuous care, establish clinics, because prior to the start of that project, no public health facility was offering dedicated continuous care, and this is part of the multidisciplinary care individuals living with this condition need for them to,
Normally, our continue the conversation. Meetings is one now. We're supposed to read 7 to 8, but a bit late because we're trying to get the media to streamline. So I'll be asked to give a vote of thanks. So I want to, on behalf of the president and all members of the Rotary Club of Victoria, and especially thank Mr. Awolowo for finding time to come and speak to us. Spina, Bifida. You have opened our eyes to many things, and we thank you so much. We also want to express our gratitude to Mrs. Moji Adebari. It's not every mother that will come out to tell us their personal experience like we did. And thank you for partnering with the foundation. We appreciate what you are doing. We pray that as you go back, you will arrive safely at your various destinations. Thank you. We hope that when next we call on you, Mr. Fajemi, you will see our live because the conversation continues, like I said. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. At this point, we need to invite the regular chairman. The regular chairman, people in challenge within our meeting. So once you get people in challenge.
My president, my Rotarian president, past president in the house, distinguished guests, thank you for today. My name is Mr. Richard Eli. I have come there. I've been writing down so that I can invite him to write out the ceremony. So after the meeting, I will meet you personally. All right. So what does RILA mean for those of us who are there? RILA is the program that will bring young people together between the ages of 14 to 25, and they come for 9 years. We give them civic education, IT training, and try and build them more in terms of leadership. And so that's what we do for 9 days. It's called Rotary Youth Leadership Academy. And so I'm here today to seek for funds from this club and to sponsor young people. There are young people outside, schools around there, especially your neighborhood here. They have said they have kids up to 31. And I know Victoria Island can do it for us. And so I'm here tonight to meet our Rotarian president and members of this club that there are young people who want to go to Ireland. Since they are within the value, it would be nice that we get a minimum of 50 from the club. But our heart is 31 because the 31 is just here nearby St. Mary's Club, and so that we can send them to school. I think that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you, PPHLAD. We don't have 50 with too large a number, but I assure you we're sending some young people.
Okay.
Very soon you see a registration and a payment. So that I can assure you, but as for the number, I cannot. Thank you so much for coming. And on that note, I know we have writers in our midst, and at this time I wouldn't want them to stay too long. So the chair of the Rotaractor is not here today. I would have wanted him to be here, but he had some things to do in the office. That's why he's not here at this time. So the Rotaractors will be hearing from us through Rotarian Abiodun Owolewa. And I want to let the Rotaractors know that if you have any issues, anything you want the Rotary Club to know, please direct it through the chairman. We have a chairman for the Rotary Club, and that is Awolowo Road. So please direct it through him. It will come to us for attention, so that you don't have to start relating directly with busy Rotarians who might not really be able to see what you're sending to them at any point in time. So the advice is, please channel your whatever you have through Rotarian Abiodun Owolewa, and it will get to us. That's all we can say at this time, because our time is fast spent. We would have wanted to discuss one or two things, but you will still be invited for another meeting. Rotarian Abiodun is there for you. If you have anything, please go through him. These people you see here are very good. So, but once you get through him, it will get to us. I assure you of that. That's all I can say for now. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Okay, yeah. Now, can I excuse our
We can do it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm not here on Pipilabo, please come and represent the digit.
I'll check it. I'll check. I'll check it.
So, present the
Thank you so much.
Hello, Among.
Were you able to meet them?
I'm giving them.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Like I said, having had the human experience, I'm so happy to share it. Do you understand? When I came out and what he's doing, we have the opportunity to create an awareness. And I have so many yes, it's a pleasure.
Please. Sorry, it's been just a few minutes. My panel president. Thank you very much.
You are our president now. End the meeting now. End the meeting so that we'll not be time. Stop it.
President, call meeting to order.
So the IT now. So when you don't do it for somebody.
Yeah, I'm not happy like that.
One house.
On behalf of the DG, I want to present this plaque to give the life of good president 2025-2026 from Rotarian Abiodun Owolewa.
Congratulations,
Welcome to 10 days.
We have protecting Rotarian and guests in our midst. We have the welcome song. We want to sing, you know, guests.
One thing I've learned today, because I've never attended a Rotary meeting, I didn't realize you sang.
Guys, singing club.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, come and sing.
Please come and sit
We have a welcome song.
A welcome song.
It's on page.
all our guests.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Arrested.
Yes, it's on page 9. Give them some book, please.
Our guys sit down and we stand up and
Yes, our guys, please sit. Page 9. You can follow us on page 9. Look, that's with friends of visiting page 9. Let's start over.
Page 9.
1, 2, go.
What a journey finding Rotary, we friends of visiting Ikoyi. We share the joy of serving mankind. We welcome friends and our colleagues. We meet in the evening every Thursday. Come and share with us and be. What a joy we find in Rotary. Victoria, I welcome you.
But it's always like that. It's not exactly.
Yes.